Hi guys, it's Anna from the Bookish Maven, and welcome to the video today. I have decided to go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid and do a reading resolutions for 2020. I know there are so many other YouTubers doing this, but I figured it would be a great way for me to put out my goals and aspirations for reading this year, and hopefully I actually stick to them. So I am going to just stick to 5 resolutions and try my best to actually follow through. That's all I can say. Okay, so resolution number 1 for my reading world, my reading life, is to DNF anything that I'm just not into. I feel like a lot of us feel some sort of pressure when we commit to a book and start reading it to finish it. And I just kind of am of the opinion that I just have too much going on in my life, and there are just too many wonderful books out there to waste my time on something I don't want to read. So I'm going to commit to DNFing a book, but I think mine's a little bit different than other people. Everyone else is like talking about DNFing books because they don't want to spend so much time on this book when there's other books that are just as great. Well, my DNF a book goal is, yes, to DNF the book if I'm not into it, but to put parameters on that. Like, for one, I'm going to commit to giving a book at least 100 pages to convince me to keep reading it. I am one of those people that are horribly notorious for picking up a book and getting a couple chapters in and saying, this is awful, and I'm just not going to deal with it. But I would like to put myself into a position where I'm at least giving it 100 pages, giving it a good running start. And if at 100 pages it is failed to capture me in any way, then I'm going to just say goodbye to it. And also, the other thing I want to kind of focus on when it comes to DNFing a book is I want to give myself the ability to have 2 DNF piles. One is a, I will never get back to this book ever pile, and then also to have a DNF book until later, or, to be determined timing. Just because there are some times when it has really nothing to do with the story or the writing. It's more that I'm just super moody and I pick up the book, and because of my headspace or where I'm at or what I'm thinking about or the mood I'm in, I just don't get into the book. So I want to have a pile where it's like, I want to give it a chance another time when I'm probably, not focused or thinking about a different genre or a different type of book. So I'm going to split myself with DNFs and put them in 2 different piles this year. So that way there are books that I set down because I'm just not into that type of genre or storyline right now, but I want to give it a chance next time. And then the ones, of course, that just are gone. So that leads me to my 3rd resolution, which is to read 100 books this year. This last year, I think I read 110 books, which is a pretty decent number. And I don't really want to go more than that because I want a goal that is actually doable and achievable, but still gives me something I have to push for. If I said 5 books this year, that would be way too little because I probably will be done with it by the end of the, probably by the middle of the month. But I want to give myself something that I have to reach for and have to remember to continue to read to get there. But also I don't want to give myself something too much that I feel pressure and actually end up not enjoying my reading time. So that's my 3rd resolution, is just to reach for 100, and if I go over, it would be wonderful, and if not, I'll be satisfied with 100. My 4th resolution this year is to participate in some reading challenges, but I don't want to get involved in the big reading challenges because I don't do well with long-term goals like that, and I also don't do well with challenges that force me to read a lot of books that are very specific. It's just too much pressure on myself, and I feel bad if I don't complete it, or I feel resentful if I have to complete it and I don't like what I'm reading. So I've decided to try to stick with smaller ones, like a week-long readathon type challenges that give you a couple different prompts that help you to kind of go outside of your norms and choose books that are a little bit different or within a specific genre. But I don't want to overload myself. Once again, this comes to the resenting reading, because I know a lot of us go through these moments where we just kind of get into reading slumps. Sometimes it's just because life is happening and we're just too busy to get to reading. And sometimes it's because we're just tired of it. We need something different. We lack the motivation to go back to the books. And I don't ever want to get myself into that situation because I'm trying to put too much strain and pressure on what my expectations are for specific books and challenges and whatnot, and not being able to meet them. So that's my goal. I want to do at least 3 challenges, and I want them to be the smaller challenges that I know that I can actually do. And it's not so much to like raise my book reading count, but more to diversify my reading. And that goes into my 5th resolution, which is to continue to diversify what I'm reading. And not just by genres, but also by topics, things that are happening. There's so much going on in our world, and sometimes when you want to discuss that, a great way to do that is to open up a conversation in a book that can open up the conversation in real life about the situations that are going on. But I also kind of want to expand the types of genres. You know, I read a lot of sci-fi fantasy, which is fine because that's my thing. I love sci-fi and fantasy. And I do like other genres too. I love the classics, and I love just regular fiction. And sometimes I say I hate romances, but every once in a while there's a cute little like chicklet type thing that I do read and I enjoy. But what I do want to try to do is give genres that I tend not to care for a little bit more of a chance this year. So I want to do a little more suspenseful reading because I have not given it that much of opportunity. I do want to give a lot more adult literature an opportunity, and not just sci-fi and fantasy, because I do read a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, adult, and YA. But I want to try to give myself some opportunities to read fiction in the adult genres that are more contemporary or historical, or just the other fields and genres around the adult fiction category. So those are my goals. I'm hoping that I follow through with them. If maybe if I put this video out there in the world and next year I can reflect on it, I'll grow a little bit in my reading habits. If not, this video will be a record of my failure in life. So with that, if you guys have any interesting reading resolutions this year, please share with me. I love making new friends on the BookTube world, and maybe we can keep each other accountable, or not, or just share in our misery at the end of the year when we realize we haven't done it. And with that, this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the like button. And I will see you guys next video. Bye.